So, with the Mario movie coming out in literally less than 2 months, there's been some people who've been getting a little too excited about this monumental occasion. And I know it seems pretty rude to step on people's hopes and dreams, but sister, sometimes you just gotta put the hammer down and say no. You're stupid for thinking and or wanting this. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be making fun of the scoundrels who think just cause we're getting a Mario movie, we should also get a cinematic universe Smash Bros movie as well. I'm sure I've said this countless times about countless other things, but that is literally one of the stupidest goddamn ideas I've ever heard. Not because this is gonna go into a rant about, oh, and everything is trying to be Marvel nowadays, and they're ruining the film industry, and all that copy-paste bullshit directors over the age of 50 say. Like, yeah, that's kinda part of it, and I'll probably come back to that later. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm looking at this more so from the game's perspective and how trying to adapt them into one huge crossover would just be like really stupid and dumb. So let's start with the obvious. This shit would take way too long to set up. Smash Bros. Has always been known for its large cast of colorful characters. I mean, even the first game had 12 of them, which may not seem like a lot, especially nowadays with Ultimate, but think about how much would need to be done to establish each character both individually and then into a larger story. So we're already getting a Mario movie, right? Which can cover Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Donkey Kong. Even though there's been talks of doing spin-offs for some of them, but you know, whatever. But then that would theoretically mean we'd also need a film for Zelda, Metroid, Kirby, Star Fox, F-Zero, Earthbound, and Pokemon. And no, I'm not counting Detective Pikachu. It needs to be its own continuity. Even if characters are introduced in the movie that isn't focused on them, like, oh, Captain Falcon is just chilling with Samus in the Metroid movie, that's still a pretty hefty order that I doubt Nintendo wants to invest their resources in, cause let's be real, outside of Nintendo's fan base, who would want to see a Star Fox movie, or an F-Zero movie, or an Earthbound movie? See, there's something called a general audience that film studios really like to receive money from. You know, no matter how much passion or love or dedication goes into a film, it's a business at the end of the day. And businesses like to make money. And the reason why this is important is because Nintendo is a pretty fickle being. Fickle. That's funny. Anytime something doesn't work out in their favor, they immediately sweep it under the rug and pretend like it never happened. They've done this countless times for their games, but to give you an example for TV shows / film, it was revealed a few years ago that Nintendo was in collaborations with College Humor to develop a Star Fox show for Netflix. But it was immediately canceled after someone from Netflix leaked their plans for a Zelda series that was also in development. So Nintendo freaked out and pulled the plug cause, again, they're fickle. So who says they won't do the same with the supposed F-Zero movie bombs, or the Pikmin movie bombs, or the Fire Emblem movie bombs? Bro, they need to make an entire HBO Max series for all these damn Fire Emblem characters. And I know there's the argument of like, oh, all these properties are tied to Nintendo, so logic dictates they'll be successful. But no, that's not true. That's a lie. Just because it's attached to Nintendo doesn't inherently mean it's gonna be successful. Like, everyone knows the Mario movie's gonna do well, cause 1, Mario is literally one of the most popular characters ever. 2, it's being animated by Illumination, which, yeah, I know their track record is kinda spotty, but at the end of the day, their movies still gross a lot of money. And 3, they got A-list celebrities in on this shit. Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, these are all household names. So of course that means people who like their work, which are kind of the general audience, would want to see something new they're in. But side note, I want to give the movie props for not plastering these names all over the advertisements. Like, look, not a single one of their names are on any of these posters. For an animated kids movie, that's very commendable. And you know, if they did something similar for their other properties, then maybe they could be successful. But the Mario movie is just inherently going to be way, way more appealing than if any of their other games were adapted into a film. Again, I'm sure Nintendo fanboys would eat them up, but do you really think some divorced mom would bring her 2 kids to see the new Earthbound movie over like Captain America 6? No, they wouldn't. They have no knowledge of the IP or what the hell an Earthbound even is. Another thing I want to talk about is the creative side to a Smash Bros. Movie and how it just would inherently clash and not work. Cause talking about something as basic as the art style, like what would we even be getting ourselves into? The Mario movie looks like it's going to use a lot of warmer colors, with the characters having expressive movements, but I doubt that will be the case for a Zelda or Metroid movie since those series are known for their darker attributes. I mean, unless it's Wind Waker, but I doubt they're going to make a Wind Waker movie. My point is, having Mario interact with Link and Samus when they all potentially have completely different art styles would just look bad, because we don't even know who'd be animating these projects. Maybe Illumination, but I doubt they want to abandon all their other series just to be known as the guys who only make Nintendo movies. It might work if all the characters adopted the same art style when they went into a specific world, like how it was in the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour, but I doubt that would be the case. That's another thing too, each of these characters and series have their own world that's interesting enough to explore as their own individual thing. We're seeing this already with the Mario movie, since it's incorporating Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country kind of, and Mario Kart. So if that same mentality is applied to a more story-driven series like Zelda, there will be so many possibilities for world building that wouldn't be used to their fullest potential if the screen time had to be shared with all these different Nintendo characters. The reason it works for Marvel movies is because most of these characters already share the same world. Like, yeah, there's Asgard and Wakanda, but for the most part, all these dudes live on the same planet, so it's easier for them to come together and work effectively. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry I just defended Marvel, but it's kinda true. It's kinda true, I'm sorry. And again, I hate bringing this up because it makes me sound pretentious and snobby, but not everything needs to be a crossover or part of a cinematic universe. I know it may be exciting to have all these characters come together in a medium that hasn't been explored with them before, but really, considering A, these are video games, and B, it's Nintendo, maybe we should just hold off on this, Chief. I truly believe if they end up making a Zelda or Metroid movie after this, they will be exponentially better as their own standalone films, rather than having to focus on being part of a bigger picture. Nintendo said they're open to doing more films if the Mario movie does well, which, again, it's going to, but I hope they keep each franchise's best interest in mind so they can be as good as possible. And I don't think forcing them to cross over with another series that has nothing to do with their own is part of that. That's just me, though. I recognize I'm a very cynical and jaded person, so if you think a Smash Bros. Movie could work, I'd love to hear any ideas you have for it in the comments. Because honestly, the only Smash Bros. Movie I need is the Subspace Emissary all-story cutscenes full movie HD video on YouTube. I don't care what anyone says about Brawl, that story mode was gas, and I'll take that to my grave. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say on this matter. I love Nintendo, but they're Nintendo, so they still suck. But I still love them, so yeah. Anyways, that's it. Bye. And bye.